Я вот сюда поднимаю, да, точку. Уважаемые члены комиссии.
Dear Commission members, dear Chairman of the Commission, crew members are ready for the integrated qualification exam.
Доверили тебе.
We trust you with this.
Вопросы есть?
Do you have questions? No?
Absolutely, yeah. We've trained a long time for this, so we're very ready for the mission. Looking forward to this final exam. Really, I mean, after this, it's the culmination of the training. We then head down to quarantine for Baikonur, so I'm just really excited about the next couple of weeks in the build-up to the launch.
There are lots of similarities between training for the two missions on either a Soyuz or a shuttle, because both are very dynamic vehicles, and during our training and during our exam today, we plan for worst case scenario, and that way the crew is very ready. You know, some of the differences are in terms of techniques on how that approach is completed, but in general, both are very effective in preparing the crew.
This integrated simulator that is located behind us is rather accurately modeling different processes that happen with a real transportation vehicle in space. It models those processes. And we practice all the main modes that are programmed in the simulator. And they allow us to operate in space as if we were in the simulator. Very frequently, cosmonauts point out that they feel as if they were still in the simulator. And that is a good assessment for the simulator and high assessment for the people who perform the simulations here. There can be a huge, enormous number of situations. They can change over 30 parameters and make them off-nominal, and using those parameters, you can create any kind of situations. You see, it's as if it's music. There are notes, but the number of tunes is unlimited. We have been training for about 18 months together, and we have gone through the backup crew training. So we have worked together, and we're a team.
I think there's two things that are really hard about the training. Firstly, it's a long period, 2.5 years. And you have to retain a lot of information over that period. Sometimes you'll only get one lesson prior to actually seeing it on board the space station. So knowing what to retain and how to retain that information is quite an art. And secondly, of course, everything we do here is in Russian, so learning Russian language has been a struggle as well. Enough to work in the Soyuz, yes.
Can you tell us about the experiment that you'll be working on
Yes, I mean, we've got lots of experiments planned, both in the Russian segment and in the USOS segment. In fact, there's over 250 experiments that we'll be performing throughout the 6-month tour. And of course, many of those are on our human body ourselves. One in particular, for example, is Immuno-2, which investigates the body's immune system and how that changes with aging process. And of course, that will affect people on Earth as well and have benefit for our aging population. None whatsoever. I think that's one of the great things about the training process is any concerns that you may have, really are dealt with as we've gone through this 2.5-year training process. And by the time we get to today, the final exam, we've covered all eventualities.
Your first time is to the veteran space flight. Have you got tips from the
I can start with the answer. Through the training process, even if someone hasn't flown before, they are 100% ready because one, the training process accounts for that, and also the new flyer can relate to the people who have experience, and we try to transfer that information.
Our prime goal right now is to ascend into orbit and dock to the station, and our program is very diverse. We have a lot of dynamic operations. We're going to see a lot of transportation and cargo vehicles arrive that we need to dock and undock. For the Russian segment program, we're going to have 2 cargo vehicles arrive during our stay. Then also there will be a Russian EVA planned. And we have about 10 tasks that we need to perform. A very diverse science program, over 50 experiments per the program of the Russian segment, and we're going to work on that. And my Russian cosmonaut colleagues and myself are going to work to achieve these goals. And our partner programs are also diverse. They have a lot of tasks, and the expedition is going to be very intense and very busy. We're going to be about 6 months on board, over 170 days. We give each other advice every day for different subjects. When a person goes to space for the first time, they will be looking very attentively around what's going on around them, and if something comes up that they're unclear how to react to, we can discuss it, and no rush. Things in space happen very slowly. The velocity is high, but everything happens slowly, so there will be no rush.
Gosh, I mean, I think the whole experience is a huge privilege, and it's going to be tremendously exciting, but seeing that first view of planet Earth from space is probably going to be the most exciting moment.
Okay. Dear Commission members, crew members of Expedition 4647 are ready. Good job. Good job. Take your card. Good morning. Put the date, please. Team, your turn.
вопросы есть?
Do you have any questions?
Ну, конечно, мне комфортно работать
Of course. I am comfortable working with this crew. They're very well trained. They're very nice people. They have the same names.
не только к тренировкам.
We're ready not just for training. We're ready for the flight. We've been training together for a long time. Everything is fine. We're going to do our final exams. Thank you.
Ну, он
Do
будет
you think it's going to be complicated? Well, it's going to look like any other working day on board of the station. The difference is we're going to have phenomenal situations that are going to be built into the script.
быть внимательным в этом.
We will have to be very attentive to make sure we don't miss the start of the phenomenal situation. It's going to be a very intense, busy day. Yuri Ivanovich.
Ну, экипаж
The crew is ready for any situations.
касается там системы электро...
As far as the electrical power system is concerned, or other systems,
расчетными системами
they're usually design abnormal situations. They're
умеет работать.
predictable. The crew members are well trained to perform the procedures to deal with the situations either independently or jointly with the ground mission control. There are some phenomenal situations they're not predictable, that need to be analyzed carefully.
Более глубокие знания.
That requires a deeper level of knowledge and talking to the ground specialists.
Вырабатывают
The ground specialists work on that carefully, and they prepare a solution. It's your sixth flight.
полет у нас планируется очень
This flight is planned a very interesting one.
наполненный разными задачами.
It's full of various tasks. I would say,
По сложности он выше среднего
as far as its complexity level, it's above average.
с электропитанием.
You're talking about the electrical power system malfunction. It didn't result in any specific consequence that would complicate the stay of the crew on board. It is a serious situation, but it was dealt with quickly,
Ухудшающих последствий
and it didn't deteriorate the environment of the crew on board.
What experience you want to do on MKS?
Well, we want to do our job while we're on board. We have lots of experiments. There may be some spacewalks during our mission, and several new vehicles will be docking. So we'll have a very busy time on board.
Вы по-русски говорите хорошо.
Do you speak Russian well?
Мы можем работать усиленно,
Yes, we
когда
can work
мы,
hard
желаем.
when we are going to live there.
Хороший опыт там.
And it's a very good experience.
Можем видеть земля,
We will be able to see Earth. We can operate the robotic arm. We can go out during an EVA. We can spend our time well. Your colleagues are now growing flowers on board, and they recently grew cabbage. Do you have something interesting like that?
Cabbage. Do you have a plan similar to this?
К сожалению, нет.
Unfortunately not. Maybe next time.
For Tim Cobra for NASA TV,
Yeah.
Can you introduce us to your crew and tell us a little bit about the time you spent training with them?
Absolutely. We have a fabulous Soyuz crew, and we'll join a great crew on board. Yuri Malenchika, very experienced cosmonaut. This will be his sixth flight. He's flown on the shuttle before. He's commanded the Soyuz many times, as well as both the space station and the Mir space station. So we're quite fortunate to have such an experienced cosmonaut with us on board. Tim Peake, a very experienced experimental test pilot, and he's joined us. This will be his first flight, and we've had a great time training together. It's been a great experience over the last couple of years, and we are very ready to go.
May I ask you another question? You have an EVA planned. What is the program?
Ну, этот выход
This EVA is going to be
В интересах российской
planned for the purpose of the Russian segment program. The main part of the EVA is going to have 5 tasks: science research and technology research, verifying various technologies. Moreover, we're going to install additional handrails that are going to be used in the future for crew translation on the outside of the station. We're going to take photographs of the MOI and the outside surface of the station. Is this a long duration, 6 months? Well, that's a long time, yes, but we're going to be very busy when we're going to be working there on the station. So the time flies.
Inside the Soyuz, I'll be in the right-hand seat, which has much fewer responsibilities than the commander or the left-hand seat. Once on board the station for our 6-month mission, all crew members are trained up to a fairly similar level. So that will include the possibility of visiting vehicles using the robotic arm, completing spacewalks EVA if they're scheduled during our mission, and of course conducting all of the scientific experiments that we have planned for the 6-month mission.
Dear colleagues, please stay here together. The head of the center will come here in a minute. Today is the main day. The crew members have undergone a long training, as well as on the Russian segment and in NASA in the US and in the European Space Agency, JAXA, in Japan. The crew members have shown very good results, but prior to the integrated simulation training, the crew members have passed the exam for manual modes, docking, undocking, descent, and they passed with excellent grades. Wait for everyone to join you. Dear Chairman of the Exam Commission, the backup crew members of the 46, 47 crew members are ready for the examination. Good morning. Is everybody ready?
Yeah, our job is to essentially do everything that the primary crew does and serve as their backup. And Kuya and I have been training here for about 2.5 years. The training program includes station training and Soyuz training as well.
Yes. I worked as a biologist, and I'm very interested in the science experiments. I'm hoping to perform some experiments with the protein cells. It would be very interesting to see how biological organisms behave in space.
Now, 準備も万端ですので、みんな3人で頑張って試験にしっかり合格したいと思います。
Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next